Hello, everybody. My name is Marshall Ziegler, and I have Tourette syndrome, which basically means little guy up here who tells me what to do and what to say is drunk all the time. I tell you that because I want to kind of put you at ease here. Because this set is very based on Tourette's, and I feel whenever I joke about Tourette's, people get uncomfortable. They don't know if they're allowed to laugh. So I want you to know, you can laugh at my jokes. It's okay. Twitch up here is telling them. It has been about 45 seconds since my last... Never mind. 8:45:07. Beat my record. As you can probably already tell, I do not have coprolalia, or as it's otherwise known, swearing Tourette's, or as I like to call it, Hollywood Tourette's. And I call it Hollywood Tourette's because every time you see a character in anything that has Tourette's, they're always swearing every other word, and it's usually as a joke, right? Like, haha, it's funny, because they swear, and they can't control it, and it makes social situations really awkward. I'm enthused! And I look at stuff like that, I can't, no, it's not, there are much funnier things about Tourette's than coprolalia. You guys are scraping the bottom of the barrel here. Come on! For example, most people, believe it or not, they don't say things when they vocally tick. I do. Luckily for me, it's only when I'm super stressed, or super excited, or super embarrassed, or in any other situation where they're especially bad. And when I do speak, it's usually under my breath. So no one can hear it, or at the very least, the person behind me hears me, and they're just like, is this kid okay? Does he need help? But one time, you see, most of my texts, they're just single syllables, if even barely words. But one time, I was in my pronunciation for singers class, and fun thing about Tourette's, it also comes along with ADHD and anxiety. So they brought me back to a particularly embarrassing memory, and I sat there in my diction class, and I almost said aloud, but luckily under my breath, I am French. I'm not French. Not even a little bit. The most French thing I've ever done is get bullied by someone bigger than me and immediately surrender. If there's French people in the audience, I apologize. I'm kidding. I'm not sorry. Stereotypes exist for a reason. Anywho, vocal tics are not the only funny thing about me, though. Oh, no. Physical tics can also be quite entertaining. You see, in a different class last year, while I was still in high school, I was sitting in class, and unfortunate timing of a tic, combined with unfortunate placement of my head, led me to slap myself in the face. Not hard, just lightly. My best friend, he's sitting next to me, and he turns to me, and he says, "Did you just slap yourself in the face?" And me, in my ultimate wisdom, I say, no. Did I slap you? Is the slap even real? What is life? I don't know where I was expecting to get with that, other than, blatant denial. If it works for politicians, why not me? Another really funny thing that I find people fail to capitalize on with Tourette's, the secret power we all have. Oh, that's right. That's right, we all have powers. Superpowers. Look it up. You see, when a person with Tourette's meets another person with Tourette's, even if they don't know each other, they will, without a doubt, unconsciously trade tics in a process I like to call neurological capitalism. It's a real thing. Yeah. Some people say it's just simple imitation. Me, I think it's how we find each other. It's It's our inborn way of creating an army and overthrowing the neurotypical society. Watch out. But unfortunately, it doesn't work with all forms of Tourette's. I can't take higher tier tics, like coprolalia. That's too high level for me. I'm trying to maintain my amateur status so I can have Tourette's in the Olympics. Can you imagine? The most impressive I've ever seen this power was when I got the opportunity to go to Washington, D.C., and I got to train to be a Tourette's ambassador, which basically means I got to go on a plane, I got to go to Washington, D.C., I got to meet with my state's representatives, and I got to learn how to talk to people with Tourette's. Talk to people about Tourette's. People with Tourette's too, but we're easier to communicate with each other. So I'm going to explain this situation to you. I want you to see if you can point out the flaws from what you already know about Tourette's. So they get these, it must have been 250 plus people from across the country, all with varying degrees of Tourette's, a disorder which makes you naturally over-energetic. And they put us all together, which is a bad idea because not only do we trade tics, we also energize each other's tics. Put us all together in one room, and they sit us in chairs, and they talk to us for hours. It was incredible. It was like a tic bazaar. People had stands set up. Hand waving, get your hands, throat clear, throat clear. It was nuts. It was like a Roman market. The trip would have been just incredible. It was an amazing opportunity, but it would have been just incredible if they had given us better food. Now let me tell you about some of the pristine food we had access to on this trip. Granola bars, not the fun kind, and that was the most fun thing we had. Apples, Granny Smith apples, water, unflavored carbonated water, ooh, and unfrosted mini-wheats. You ever tried to choke down a delicious meal of unfrosted mini-wheats? The moment they come into contact with any moisture, they swell to the size of a mini tuber. And then you're trying to choke that down with your bottle of unflavored carbonated water, which you hate, but you're drinking it anyway. God knows why. My favorite thing about having Tourette's, though, is the people who don't know about it or know very little about it. And these people come in two varieties, I find. The first variety are kind of fun. They are the people who know about Tourette's. And by know about Tourette's, I mean they've seen a couple episodes of Tourette's Guy on YouTube, and they're like, oh, that must be what it's like for all or anyone with Tourette's. Ever. Wow. And then these are the people, they get that idea in their head. They're like, oh, this is what it's like. It's not what it's like. And then they're the people who can't find us. And they're the people I like to have a little fun with. Because they know what Tourette's is, but they don't know how to identify it. I had a director who was like this once. And I will never forget the day. He walked up to me, looked me dead in the eye, and he told me, wow, I really like your character quirks and the nervous tics you're giving your character here. And I, of course, replied, well, I have experience. Second kind of people, they're people who don't know anything about Tourette's, and they're fun because they're always scared. Always. If they don't know about Tourette's and they don't know you have it, like maybe, picture this, I'm sitting on a bus, maybe I'm particularly excited, I'm taking more than I usually do, and to me, I'm just enjoying a bus ride. Everyone else, they just got on the bus with a druggie. People are pulling the strings, trying to get off, and that's why I get checked at Walmart. And then there's the people, and then, well, it's the same group of people, but then you tell them you have Tourette's, and you tell them, they go, well, sorry, I have Tourette's syndrome. And then they get this look on their face that people, I've only seen on two kinds of people. These kinds of people, and the kind people get when you tell them that you have stage 4 leukemia. These people look at you with fear and sympathy in their eyes. Like, are you okay? Do you need anything? And that's if I'm lucky. The first question usually asked is, well, is it contagious? Yes. My neurological disorder caused by my genes is contagious. It's called recruitment. I really like the people who walk up to you and they're like, are you okay? Do you need anything? And I'm just sitting there like, oh no, I'm fine. Could you hold my head steady so I don't accidentally snap my neck? Thank you. You guys have been a lovely audience.